Hello and welcome to Prevent Your Adventure, and tonight, on the recommendation of Devin Walsh, I am in Suffield, Connecticut at Suffield Pizza, and I'll show you the outside of the place in a minute. He sent me this a while ago, and he sent me a message, when are you coming? I said, I'll wait till there's more daylight. It's now daylight savings time, so here I am. Monday night in Suffield. It's an old town, in the Tobacco Valley of Connecticut. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but they used to grow lots of tobacco around here. I don't know if they still do or not. Still have the old tobacco barn. So here's Suffield Pizza. I was talking to the girls inside, and they weren't quite sure how long it had been here, but they said it started out in Bristol, Connecticut, which is a ways away, and ended up here somehow. And so I went with the meatballs with an unbelievable amount of sauce there, which is not a bad thing, and a pan pizza, pepperoni style. So, let's give it a try and see what we think. I should have brought, there's a lot of sauce. I should have brought one of my old bibs. Didn't even think of it. Nice tender meatball. And the way I like them. Sauce throughout. Like it's been sitting in the sauce. This is a nice meatball. Extremely tender. Nicely done. Looking at or feeling the way they're put together, I'm pretty sure they're house made. Alright, so square cut pizza, pan pizza. Apologize for the glove. I had some hand surgery a month ago, and it all of a sudden swelled up this weekend, so just compressing that swelling down a bit. Wow. I did not handle that well. I should have showed you the bottom. I didn't even look at the bottom. In my opinion, maybe a little undercooked. Which makes the crust maybe a little more doughy than I would like. It's a nice pizza. It's nicely done. I'm going to tell you, hey, let's try one of these triangle pieces, see how that goes. So I'm sure there's someone on here that can explain this to me. Maybe they'll get a message. But the cheese, it's not like you can bite through it and separate it. Just the whole cheese comes off. So, pizza's okay. Meatballs are quite good. If I was doing a channel like those guys in Florida want me to do, where it was only meatballs, this place would be getting quite a rating. But I'm not, so we'll leave it at that for now. All right, let me finish up, come back, and share my final thoughts. Okay, final thoughts at Suffield Pizza in Suffield, Connecticut. The meatballs were very nicely done. I really enjoyed the meatballs. They were moist, tender, tasty, nice sauce, just really well cooked all the way through. They had been sitting in the sauce, so that it wasn't just a piece of meat with sauce over the top. It had gotten saturated in, so it was my type of meatball. I really liked the meatballs, really enjoyed them. Everything about them I enjoyed. The pizza just didn't grab me. The crust, to me, was undercooked. The sauce was okay. It was a nice strong pepperoni on it. I liked the pepperoni. But it just wasn't what I'm looking for when I go out for pizza. Place is busy on a Monday night, so once again, it's just my opinion. It's not knocking anyone or what they do. It's just my opinion on what I'm looking for, and this just didn't grab me. So, let's give it a score. Suffield Pizza, Suffield, Connecticut. Those meatballs are going to help. But they're going to help a lot, I guess. I don't know. But not enough to take us to the next level. So, I'm going to go 7.7. And that score is really based more on the meatballs. So, I'm not going to say any more. It was a nice ride to get here. I don't ever want to say anything negative about anywhere I go, so I'm not going to say anything. People are in there working. I got to tell you, the girl I was talking to inside there, I really should have gotten her name. She was unbelievably friendly and outgoing, and just kept a nice conversation going. She was very enjoyable. So she was part of that score also, even though I hadn't talked about her. So, Suffield Pizza, very, very good meatballs. Very nice young lady behind the counter, 7.7. I've got a story, and it may be my final story for a while, because this is kind of one of my better stories. And I hope you understand that I'm able to laugh at myself, because these stories are funny to me. Maybe not to you, but stuff that's happened to me is funny. Maybe not in the moment, but when you look back at them, I can laugh at them. So feel free to laugh. Don't feel bad. Don't say, laugh because it was funny. Let me tell you that this was one of my funnier experiences. And I thought of it because I had to drive through the town of Vernon to get here. Vernon, Connecticut. And way back in the 80s, Connecticut had its own professional National Hockey League team, the Hartford Whalers. Sorry, drew a blank there for a moment. And my wife worked in an insurance office, so a number of times, she got free tickets, and they were pretty good seats, and she'd get 4. So we were kind of loners, so who do you take with you? So she had a girl that she worked with that was, I don't know if they were married or just dating at the time. They ended up married. So we would take them. They went with us at least on this one occasion. I don't know. On this one occasion. And this was, for you younger viewers, a little hard to grasp, but pre-internet days, pre-able to look anything up in any way, shape, or form, you had to ask people questions at new areas. And I had a good friend who also I had invited in to sell me product, and he sold me product. Richard Minio was his name, and he told me about a place in Vernon called the Steak Club. Not a big steak guy, but tell me about it. All you can eat soup and salad bar, entree, and included all you can eat dessert bar. Don't have to say any more. I'm in. So we get to this place, and the room was pretty good size. it was like booths on the outside walls and some tables in the middle. And they put us at a table pretty much right in the center. Round table, I think, could have been square. I don't know. 4 chairs, and so we ate. And I don't remember much. Soup and salad, I'm sure. Whatever my entree was. And then what I had been waiting for, the dessert bar. So I went to the dessert bar, got 2 desserts. I only remember one because this is the fateful one that will be in my brain till dementia takes it away, I guess. And brought them back to the table. Set them down, sat in my seat, had my fork, was about to dig into a piece of like a spiced cake. And so I'm going to try to do a demo for you that may or may not work too well. But anyhow, this is my tabletop. So I have to start it here so you can see it. That was lower than this. And this is what my tabletop this is my view of the tabletop. As all of a sudden the table starts coming up higher and higher and higher. And my head's now below the tabletop and it keeps going up. And it was about that speed. It wasn't fast. It was about that speed. And what had happened was I was on a chair that slowly collapsed. And I'm going to show you. It was this type of chair. All right, here's the back, the seat, and just the front part here. And it bent right here. Right here. And it just slowly started working its way down till I was laying pretty much flat on my back on the floor. Now, I wasn't as large then as I am now, but I was large. And anyone who's ever been large knows that when you're laying flat on your back on the floor, it's not an easy to get back up, unless you're truly athletic, and no one's ever accused me of that. So I flopped around a little bit, and I got up, and the whole place was laughing. And the part that got me the most was my wife and the other 2 people couldn't look me in the eye. They were laughing so hard. They were laughing. They actually had tears, not a tear, tears coming down their faces. They were laughing so hard. So the waitress came over and said, "Is there a problem?" I said, "Yeah, my chair collapsed." She said, "No problem, I'll get you another one." And she brought me another chair and threw mine right over against the wall so I could see it. As a reminder, I'm pretty sure I didn't eat any dessert because I took the message from whatever entity decided to tell me you don't need that dessert. And later, like the next day, talking to my wife, she looked at me and she just broke out into laughter again. I said, "Okay." She goes, "You don't understand. While you were laying there, we looked over and all we could see was your feet above the table flopping while you were trying to get up and roll over and get up." And she just, for years, they got a kick out of it. And I'm okay with it. I am. Happened. No one was hurt. Good story. The last thing I remember about this story is, as I was sitting there was a couple on a date. I don't know if they were married, dating. I don't know. But they were in a booth over there, and the guy was facing the wall, and the woman was facing the direction that I was. And I remember distinctly 3 different times she went to take a bite of something and looked at me and had to put it down. And she was just laughing so hard. So I'm glad I made her night. It's not good for her. A great story when I was teaching. That was one of the stories I told on my first day, trying to develop some rapport with students, and they just really loved that story. When I could get up in front of them and act it out more, they just really got a real kick out of it. So my collapsing chair story, they laughed about it for years and years and years. Of course, my wife's not around anymore, and I don't see that other couple, so I don't know who remembers what. But that was a great source of amusement at many a little get-together. So there you go. Anyhow, my story, straight to you from Suffield Pizza in Suffield, Connecticut, thanks to Devin Walsh, 7.7.